Here on Arts Upload, we made it a point to put poets in the spotlight.
This will be our youngest one yet. Unique Hewley is a 2014 graduate of the Paseo Academy.
Working with producer-videographer Justin Bond, he's picked a piece to perform he calls Shoes.
Nobody notices shoes falling fiercely from the night sky, but it's okay. Because Father Time will rename night at day, and then day will drop more shoes aimed at the dreamers of the day, the sleepwalkers of the morning. The shoes will fall fiercely from the night sky, and hopefully you will notice us atop of some petrified building crumbling next to gargoyles that escape night terror and reside in stone, resurrected alone. Look up and notice us standing on ledge, a generation generated by mass media, manipulated by Medusa, hiding behind TV screens that create clones, stoned and cold-hearted with phones that play songs, that right wrongs into trends, that calls us to ascend towers, and after hours we transcend into gargoyles ready to devour heights of life without wings. So we fall, hoping you would be there to catch us, and you're not, so we break at your feet as you cautiously step over our shattered limbs, hoping not to ruin your good shoes and puddles of our broken hearts. And rubs your spine. You say somebody should have taught them better. Their generation, as if we haven't been trying to fit the shoes left for us in the place of parents that reside on milk cartons missing, as if growing up was something we were told to do on our own, did not recognize our shoes on the ground next to broken bottles as warning cries for help. As we crawled barefoot in the bed, we bled silently through the night as gargoyles gave hugs in pitch dark rooms. A flower bloomed in stone which symbolized our metamorphosis. We were scared to be alone, so we adapted to a world we knew as cuts and bruises, as we watched monsters with medical degrees stitch up scars given to us by the judgments of past generations who condemned our mistakes, which we fed to monsters under our beds whose demon tongue spewed lucid dreams and talked down on reality for never noticing our demise. They never really did notice the shoes falling fiercely from the sky, did they? Even in broad daylight, so we learned to pick our individualities out of deconstructed anatomies mixed in chaos like tangled shoelaces on grounds. We become bound to Air Jordans with straps. Well, in fact, when we grow old and the next generation unfolds and shoes begin to fall from on top of petrified buildings again, we will be there to talk them down from the heights of life they will attempt to conquer in shoes that are way too big, that became hand-me-downs way too early, causing us to trip and fall over shoelaces we were never taught to tie. You're right. We are a generation tripping over obstacles left behind by the ones that came before ours. And although we were taught to act our age and not our shoe size, we gamble around in clown shoes given to us half past birth. I just ask, before you condemn my generation to a shoeless, soulless earth, just try taking a walk in our shoes.